Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpacktrader Training Room for Tuesday, December 5th, 2023. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not to be considered individual financial advice. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds that you can afford to do without. All right, done with that for today. Crude oil. A little bit difficult this morning, actually. We have a short setup, 7 seconds after our start time. Spikes through. That bar was that bar was 20 seconds, so I'm going to assume we did get in that. So we go 54. That entry is 72, so our stop and reverse would be 76. We pick up target 1 for 11 ticks. And 76 would be 22 tick loss times 2 positions. We're down 44. We pick up 11 there, and 1 on the trailing stop would be at 77, obviously, because of the stop and reverse. And we pick up trade number 3, 4 minutes after the hour, 0413. Doesn't trigger in until sometime after 0445, so plenty of time to get into that one. That one gets target 1 for 10 ticks, target 2 for 16. 26 ticks, we end up with a net down 6, unfortunately, but that's just the way it went today. If you avoided the first trade, you were POQ on the second for 16 ticks, and never got to this third one. But tough day. But close to a break even, which is ultimately a good outcome. Unleaded. 8 seconds on that one. That would have been a really fast one to get in. Hits money management, no targets, and picks up, let's see, 329 on the trailer. 323 picks up 6 ticks on the trailer, so you'd have picked up 12 ticks if you were able to execute that one. And then you pick up the yellow trade, yellow long, at 376. That picks up target 1 for 37 or target 2 for 58. Entry was at 376. That trails up all the way to 489, 113 ticks. So 171 ticks for target 2 traders plus the 12 we got back here. 183 ticks. Let's see, 113 and 37. It's 150, 162 for target 1. So a good day on unleaded gas. And the market is about to open. We've had a long trade and stop and reverse to short on the pound Aussie, and the market just opened. We have a get in sync on the YM. So we have to pull back to our entry. We picked up a quick short trade there That's also a get in sync. Well, it just came back. Yeah, it just triggered in. And that's not looking nice unless the 200 keeps us in. Flat on the micro Russell. Let's get the micro NQ up. That's not the one. That's the one I'm looking for. So we'll go to 4 minutes after before we start there. We'll wait for 4 minutes. And YM goes too far, so that trade is off the table. That touched our money management level at 190. So stop would come up and we are not going to be in that trade. Well, actually, looks like we did maybe come down. Entry at 161. Low on that bar is at 161, so we could be in this. 162 is the stop. No target, it says of yet. And we get a stop and reverse to long at, oh, and just got ticked in at 13 3/4. Okay, YM with a short trade. I'm not YM, micro NQ. 72.6. Should be plenty of time to get into that. Yeah, 40 seconds on the next bar. All right, YM stopping out for a small trailer at 173, 24 ticks, and we'll look for another trade. Didn't quite get to target one. Right, long trade on the micro Russell. We did take a full loss on the short trade. YM is flat. Another potential stop and reverse on soybeans. That's going to be at 09 3/4, and that one did survive. So far. Unadjusted did trigger, so we will keep it on unless it hits its stop. Doesn't cancel. And we get looks like we have a stop and reverse on, call that at 71.4, and that actually is still surviving. And triggers short. Soybean still in the long trade. Micro NQ. In a long trade. This is a big trade. Only 9.9. So we need another 5 ticks beyond that. We need to go down to 70, which is target 2 for money management on the micro Russell. Oh, that's right. That money management is going to be at 35 because of the stop and reverse on our pound Aussie trade. And the Russell getting target 3, trailing now at 70.6. And target 4, 70.2. Soybeans remains in the long. The short is still valid because it has not hit its stop, and it did trigger in unadjusted. Still long on the micro NQ and short on the pound Aussie. Good morning, Robert. Please do say hello in the chat. That's the only way I know who all's here. 68.8 for 68.3 for the micro Russell stop. Micro NQ is still long. Now we have a potential stop and reverse 803, 802 for the stop and reverse. We're at, I'll go ahead and take that. Take it down to 99.5. And it still triggers in, so short. That's a big adjustment, but good morning, Albert. 67.3 for the micro Russell. Long trade for the YM. And now a potential stop and reverse to short at 107. It looks like it did trigger in. Yeah, we did touch the 107, so we are short. Entry on the long was 127. We lost 20 on that. So lost 40. We picked up 24 on the partial win early. So we're down 16. And in the short on trade number 3. Soybeans, no change. And that's unfortunate. That's going to be 2 losses on the micro NQ. We took 2 losses on micro Russell, and now we're in a big trade going down. 64.3 for the stop, and a long trade on the micro NQ. So the YM is short, the micro Russell is short, the micro NQ is long. And divergence again this morning. Short on the pound Aussie, long on the micro NQ. Short on the micro Russell. 63.8 is the current trailing stop. Long on soybeans and short on the YM. Money management on the micro NQ. No move on the micro Russell at this point. Money management on the YM. Stop will come to 106. Target is 23 ticks. Target is 084. Came within 3. Now we have a new long setup showing up on the soybeans chart. But we are already in a long. Break even, stop out, and transition to short on the micro NQ. And triggering short now on soybeans. And loss number 3 on the micro NQ. That will end the session. Losing session on the micro NQ this morning. Russell stopped out at 63.8. Just a little bit too much noise on the micro NQ this morning. You can see there we hit our stop and reverse entry on the nose. And our subsequent long setup has canceled, so a short is where we are. Money management on the pound Aussie, looking for target 2 for two positions coming off at 249. No, sorry, 232. We've gotten as low as $233. One pip to go. What was our loss here on this? Our entry was 251. And the reversal was 247, so just 4 times 5, just 20 pips. And we will pick up $30 if we hit target 2. So that will definitely put us positive. YM stopping out with a break even and now in a long trade. Okay, we were down 16 going into the long at 127. So the short is at 107. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we were down, yeah, 16. So we're down 14 into the long. The pound Aussie did make target 2. So this will be a POQ trade. 2 positions coming off. or 15 pips apiece. Micro Russell short. Went up and tested the 50, and now looks like it may be trying to continue the downtrend. Set new session lows on it earlier, moved down. Crude 10 a.m. mini session coming up in a little less than 8 minutes. Pound Aussie stop still at 46. Money management on the Micro Russell. So 64.8 for the stop there. At least a break-even trade. Soybeans hitting target 1 on the short side. Stop comes down to 09.5. And target 1 was worth 8 ticks from 09 3/4 to 07 3/4. Trying to push down to target 2. So let's see, our long was at 13 1/4. Our short was at 09 3/4, so 3.5 points. 14 ticks times 4 positions, there's 56 ticks. We have 8 in hand. And looking for another 14 at target 2. YM back to its entry on the long trade. And the Russell break-even stop transitioning to long. That's hit money management. And that stops out for a break-even. 2 losses, 2 break-evens, and a win. One more trade this morning on the Micro Russell. Still short on the pound Aussie. That will be a POQ trade. And our stop still at 09.5 on soybeans. Regular schedule next week, but the following week will be, which is the week before Christmas, I will be dark from starting that week, all that week before Christmas through I get back home January the 13th, so whatever the first session after that is going to be. That's a Saturday, so January 16th will be the first session after Christmas. So basically just about a month. Second half of December and first half of January I will be dark due to travel. Alright, just a minute plus to the 10 a.m. crude mini session. Looks like we have currently a get in sync possibility at 73.81. In another minute 15. And final trade of the morning on Micro Russell is a short. $50 seconds to our crude oil start time. And soybean stops out. So we picked up 11 ticks. Of our 56. So down 45 on soybeans. There is a long trade that is a get in sync. That's the chase ticks coming in for us. Spiked down to it, but I don't believe we had time to get into that. And target 1 is a minimum 6 ticks, so I'm not going to if you got the order in fast enough on that, if you're trading it, it would be valid, but I would say that's probably a no trade. But I believe the calculator will probably track it since it did touch. Wow. Bunch of quick action on the Russell. Our short trade was a full stop, and that was our 6th trade. Also our 3rd loss. $10 start. Yep, unfortunately that went too fast on crude this morning on that long trade, so we'll wait for another trade for our 10 a.m. mini session. Yep, calculator is tracking the soybeans trade. I suspect that was too fast to catch. We can take a look at it. Duplicate in a new tab. Make it a 4-second. All right, there it was. There was the setup. Well, it looks like it touched a couple of times. So yeah, that you probably should be in that, which is a good thing. So we pick up 6. Stop is at 10.25. Crude with a short trade. And a potential stop and reverse, possibly stop and reverse to long. 06, and we just touched it, so that takes us long. Soybeans, target 2. 11 ticks, so 17 ticks on this trade. Stop still at 10 1/4. Okay, the pound Aussie actually ended up getting all 4 targets and trailing down almost to target 4 at 221. So target 2 positions at target 2. Target 3 gave us 22 pips. Target 4, 28. That's 50 on those 2. So already had 30. That's 80. 21 from 47 is another 26. 106 pips this morning for a 1 and done, or a 2 and done session. 106 pips on that one. We lost 20. Net was 80 plus 86. And then things got noisy. See, the last few minutes, it's at 10 o'clock, it's really terrible. Our crude trade triggered in, has gone back through the trigger again. Gone back through the entry. Pulled back once again. Soybeans approaching target 3 now. At 14 flat. And our stop comes up to 10.5, 10 and a half. And crude stopping and reversing again to short this time, 87. It's not big enough to go another 3 or 4 ticks around the 50, so you should be in at 87. That is the third trade. Those 2 stop and reverses are both, at least one of them is beyond halfway. The second one is, yeah, they're both beyond halfway, so technically that should be a 2 loss end of the session. I'll go ahead and follow this trade. Soybeans did stop out for 2 additional ticks on 2 positions. That's 4 ticks. We got 6 and 11, 17, 21 of our 45. So we're down down 24, and we are short. This is a pretty big trade to the downside. $14 to target 1, $22 to target 2. Okay, the YM got target 1 on the long for 29. That will get us positive because we were only down 14. And it looks like it trails out at 134 from 121 for another 13. So we pick up 42 on that trade. We were down 14. So 34 tick net on the day and a positive session. Soybeans coming down toward the session open today at 1307 flat. And crude with a stop and reverse exit for the 3rd trade of this session, so definitely a losing session on this one. Loss of six ticks this morning on the 9 a.m. session. This one with 2 significant stop and reverses should actually have been the stop, but we actually have a 3rd one that basically is about halfway. And we touched the session open. It looks so far like it's bouncing off, but it hasn't pulled away yet. So I think we're done with everything except soybeans. Soybeans can move down. Everybody's being quiet this morning. Interesting action. Kind of a mixed bag. Soybeans trying to come back from behind. YM was able to come back from behind. Pound Aussie with a one and done. Micro Russell, 3 losses, but one big win, so that one may or may not be positive. That one's right around break even would be my guess, without running the numbers on it. Crude this morning was a difficult one. Ended up with a 6-tick loss net on the 9 a.m. session, and let's see, we did that was a no trade. So first one was 84 to 06. 22 down 44. 06 to 87. Another 19. 38. So we're down to 82. So 82 tick loss on 10 a.m. session. If you took the third trade, it went from 87 to 03, 74.03. So another 16, 32 ticks. And a bad day. We just got caught up in the noise on that mini session. A nice long trade, just a little too early to take. Yeah, looks like soybeans bounced once off the session open, now is back down 1 tick away from it. And coming back down to it again. 07 flat. And where does it go from here? Oh, 05 3/4 is a 14 tick win. We're down 24. $23 actually. Now down 23, looking for a target at 14. And at least 3 ticks on the trailer. To get us to break even. Right at the moment, he's kind of stuck there in between the entry and the session open. Taking another run at the session open now. Got there once again, but not through it. The longer it just kind of hangs around the session open, the better the chances of pushing through it are. Zebra stripes at the moment on the soybeans trade. Interesting, that bar went up 5 ticks and now is back down. If this doji closes, that's actually a pretty bearish sign. Pretty bearish bar if it closes this way. All right. Looks like everybody's losing interest. So that last bar went up 5 ticks, back down to the down 5 ticks to its open, and then up 5 ticks to finally close with six tick beyond. So really zebra stripes at the moment. It will break one way or the other eventually. And now we have a bar that comes down 5 ticks. It didn't get the 6th one to close. And there's the tick to close it, coming down to the session open again. That dotted mustard colored line. Orange or whatever that is. And we get a tick below that now. That's the first time we've pushed below the session open in the last 15 minutes, well, at least the last 10 minutes. It's been hanging around that session open. And once more, it looks like the sellers want to try to take over, but having a tough time doing it. Pretty balanced market right now. Just 1 point away from target. 4 ticks. If we get there, it'll only take 3 ticks on the trailer to get us to break even on the session. Micro NQ with successful short trade. But that's beyond our trade plan. And there we go back up on soybeans. Looks like if this turns back down with where the signal line is, if we do get to target 1, we will already have 3 ticks on the trailer at least. Unless it goes back up again on those next few bars. All right, the balance line, the signal line is at 1308 flat, so that would put the trailer at least 0850, which is 3 ticks from the entry. So if we get target at 05 3/4, we will be at least break even for the session. Trying to stick around long enough to get a resolution on this one since we're that close. Crude seems to be breaking out of its range. Nice successful short trade. And back to the zebra stripes. Alright folks, we're a little over an hour. I'm afraid I'm going to have to call it a morning. I'd like to see a resolution on this, but not going to give it to us in probably until right after, just as soon as I close it down. Well, maybe not. Let's see what it does. That was a fairly fast down bar. Hasn't gotten away from the session open significantly, either high or low. It's poked through 3 times, but yet to have a close below. That's really what I'm looking for, is a close below. We're from one above it. Yeah. Now if we can close one bar, nope. Now it's gone up enough that I was gonna say if we can close one down bar from here, we'll get to target. But now it's gonna take more than that. As a down bar will close at 06 flat, and we need to get to 05 3/4. It'll actually close at 06 1/4, but price will have to get to 06 to close it. This is a 5-tick range bar, $1 1/4 point momentum bar on TradeStation is the equivalent. And of course the exchange time on soybeans would actually be currently 9:38. Since I am in the Eastern time zone and can only select one time zone for my charts, it's kind of a mixed bag. The energies are in the Eastern time zone, soybeans, and the indices, market indices, are in the Central, so I have to choose one. And remember to mention that these are not exchange times for the market indices and for soybeans. And soybeans now finally getting significantly below the session open, getting down to 06 1/4. We need one more tick to close this bar, and 2 more ticks for target. And there's the bar closed, and there is target. So then we get a tick beyond. Balance line is at 07 1/4, so we'll go to 07 3/4, and we will definitely be positive on the session today. After 4 trades. That puts us a minimum still going to be 75. I said 50 was 3. That's another 50. So we're going to be, so far we're going to be at least 9 ticks positive. I mean, that's not a whole lot, obviously. It's still $112.50. For a bit over an hour's work. There is our stop at 07 3/4. All right. Knowing that's going to be the last trade of the day, I'm going to go ahead and call it a morning here. Knowing we will definitely be positive, but we could do better than that. So everybody have a good afternoon. We'll see everybody again at 9:30 tomorrow morning with the regular Wednesday session. And again at 10:30 for the crude oil inventory session. So everybody have a good afternoon. Thank you, Robert. We will see you tomorrow. Everybody have a good one.